Hey everybody, this is Grant Deppen from Old Dominion University, and you are watching the Mid-Atlantic Esports Conference on Twitch. Hi, my name is Kyle, and with me today is Grant Deppen, the Assistant Director of Intramural Sports and Esports for Old Dominion University. So how are you doing today, Grant? I'm doing great. Thank you very much for having me on. It's great to see everybody and be here with you today. Yeah, it's always nice to get to talk to a lot more of the other directors coming from Virginia Commonwealth myself, getting to feel out the colleges and directors and everything else about the other Virginia schools. So it's really nice to get to talk to you today. So very broadly, first off, for you, why did you go into esports, and what's made you want to bring esports to ODU? Sure. So to be honest, I kind of fell backwards into esports. I had been with the university for about 4.5 years, and we started investigating what we could really do on campus. And because there was a surge of student interest, we had a formalized student organization, and we were really interested in how can we bring those students to be part of something formalized by the university. And we investigated throughout most of 2019 in terms of what was possible and what we thought we could do. And then from that point, we really decided that this is something that we can jump into. We can build out an arena and create a program to support the students in the most beneficial way possible. Again, they were doing great stuff before, but we were able to add on to it and provide that institutional support that was necessary, I think, to take it to the next level and really add credence to it and really build the program from something that was student run to something now that was university supported and everything like that. I like the sound of that. I think getting proper support from the university has always been the goal for everyone when it comes to your when esports clubs. But I do like that you guys jumped on it almost immediately. Pretty quickly and really settled into that. So, what have been some of the challenges that have come with it then that you guys have had to overcome and have overcome about, starting up this more proper club from ODU rather than student organization clubs? Sure. So I would say that the biggest challenge that everybody's faced recently has been the pandemic. Our announcement of we were starting a varsity program in fall of 2020, that came out in about December of 2019. And so, 4 months later, we were virtual, we were remote. And so for our entire first year of the program, we were unable to participate in person because of the number of students that were taking online courses and didn't come back to campus. And so that created challenges for us logistically because we had so many people in so many different places, and trying to organize those, it made it very difficult. It was a bit of a blessing in disguise because during that exact same period, we were able to build out our arena. And that process took longer than expected, obviously, as many things did during the initial part of the pandemic. And so that was probably our biggest challenge was, where are we going to put our arena? How many computers? What scope do we want to have for the program? And how can we really do everything to maximize what the program is for the students here? And those were challenges, especially during the pandemic phase. But I think it was something that we were able to overcome just by thinking through all of the opportunities and the alternatives that we had at our disposal. Again, from that institutional support that gave us probably a wider range of options compared to what some other people have. And so far, there haven't been too many significant challenges that were related to the program itself. It was more about, how do we navigate through the pandemic as well as build the program at the same time? And since we've been able to come back mostly, almost completely in person since August of 2021, we've seen so much more growth amongst our players and our teams in terms of their camaraderie and their connection to each other and to the university, because they're in the same space, they're in the arena practicing and competing. And that's just brought an extra element to the program itself that we had been missing
for at least an entire year before that. So I think we're still in those initial phases of feeling out what's going to happen in the future, but so far we've seen nothing but positives.
Yeah, I like the sound of that. And something, may not be full conversational, but you keep bringing up mention of this arena that you guys have. So I kind of just want to hear a little bit on that and the support that you guys have needed for getting that off the ground and really going with that.
Sure. So you can see a picture of it behind me. We have in the arena, it's about 2,400 square feet or so of space. It's divided into 3 areas. The main area is where we keep all of our gaming PCs, and we have in that space 46 gaming PCs that are available. Right behind me, if you can see the picture, those PCs, they're up on a stage. There's 12 of those. We built out the arena to host LANs with Overwatch in mind as being the largest team game. So there's 6 PCs on one side, 6 on another, so we can host LANs in the space as well. But then there's 34 PCs on the floor that are available for practice, available for student drop-in use. Actually, during the day from noon to 8, students can drop in and use the space as well. And so that process was very intentional. Again, if you watch some of our Twitch broadcasts, you can see the way that the arena is set up in very specifically to broadcast and to have shots of the players' faces as they're competing and things like that. The other 2 components of the space is our broadcast space. So overall, we have 50 PCs, but 4 of those are dedicated to the streaming process and to put out broadcasts on Twitch and for everybody to enjoy. That space has a green screen background. You can go to our website and see all that type of stuff if you want to see the pictures of it. But we're able to run a full stream from in there. We have remote cameras in the arena itself, so we can control those from the broadcast space and get good face shots of the players as they're competing and things like that, which are nice bells and whistles to add. And then we also have a console space where we have 2 55-inch TVs. You can sit down, you can hang out, you can play Nintendo Switch. We have some older consoles, some of the new old generation consoles, the original Nintendo, Super NES, Sega Genesis, that type of thing that you can just kind of hang out and be social with. It's not necessarily as a competitive environment as the main arena space, but still, nonetheless, it's part of the gaming environment. We wanted to have that for students to be available there. In terms of the space itself, we were lucky in that it was one of the very few unutilized locations on campus, and it was previously administrative offices, and it housed a particular unit that included financial aid while they were renovating their original office or their normal office. And once that renovation was completed, we were able to move in and fully outfit the space. And it's in our student center, so it's open and accessible to our students. For our varsity players, it's open and accessible about 18 hours a day. However, for the general student population, it is open for that finite period of that 8 hours from noon to 8. So overall, I think we hit the nail on the head trying to find the best balance of a common space where people can be, that's also accessible at the times that games are happening, right? On weekends and at night. We've had some streams go well past midnight, close to 1 a.m., that type of thing, and that's better in a student center than it would be in a residence hall or an academic building. So we really lucked out there. And again, part of that was because of the level of institutional support that we had. That there wasn't much that was off the table for us in terms of locations and building out the entire arena as it is. In terms of actual construction, the crew that was in there, they were in there for 6 months, really building up the space, putting in new carpet, putting the wall graphics up and the logoing and the banners that we have in there, and as well as doing the infrastructure, which included HVAC, power, all the network infrastructure that we needed to run 50 gaming PCs in the same space at the same time. And so we were again supported through our IT department to do all of that. Our facilities and operations folks were very knowledgeable about the engineering that needed to go into maintaining the temperatures in space as well. And so we have a great build out, and we're very lucky to have what we have. And so we're very appreciative of that.
Yeah, you definitely sound appreciative and very proud of it. And it's really cool to get to hear that, especially considering, like I said, every club dreams of having their college's support, and to have you guys build up an entire arena for them is really cool to see. So, you know, in creating this arena, in helping support these dreams and stuff, what do you guys, what sort of opportunities are you guys trying to provide through collegiate esports to your players, and where do you guys, really try and, if anywhere, try and push your players to go?
Sure. So I think, our goal from the beginning was to build as much of an all-encompassing program as possible. And so that meant, and that means, not only do we want to have highly competitive teams, we want to have a diverse option of teams, right? So we wanted to recognize that not everyone plays on a PC or grows up playing on a PC. So we want to include some console games that support students that participate in that. We also realize that there are career pathways within the esports world. And right now we're building up specifically in the broadcast content creation area. That's been our main avenue right now. But we do have a game design major on campus, and so we do support some of that within our area to have access to some of the game design softwares in our arena. That's something that we have. So there are a lot of different things out there to support the students. And trying to meet all of those creates a different type of challenge, I would say, because some are connection to academics, some are about student leadership, others are about that competition side of things. So that means we're trying to develop players to make them better at the game. And so I see us really going in a direction of trying to maximize as much as humanly possible, because there's no reason, and there's nothing really that's going to restrict us from doing that other than ourselves, right? If we said we only want to have competitive teams, and we only want to be good at these 2 or 3 games, that's fine. That means there's going to be a whole range of people that are left out of the experience, and we know that there's more than that are competing in it and participating in it. So we want to, again, like I said, be as inclusive as possible and as robust as we possibly can with the program, and I think that leads us in a lot of different directions to answer your question, but ultimately I think it's going to lead us down a better path and a stronger program.
Yeah, you guys have definitely built up a pretty strong program, and going a bit more in depth in that, how does it feel to have your team, your League of Legends team specifically, in these grand finals for the MAEC, and what is that, doing for your program, if anything?
Well, it feels great to have them there, and to have them competing at that level, this quickly playing as a group for the first time. I know they've put a lot of effort in and time into developing themselves and developing as a unit. And so that's, maybe the thing I'm most proud of, right? Like, everybody comes in with their own skill set, and like that's their starting point. But I think their growth, it has been profound, and that's important to me, to see that they're checking all these boxes to get to where they want to go, which is a good lesson for esports, and it's a good lesson for life. As far as the program goes, it's great to have a team that's competing at the top level of any conference or any league that you're in. It's a great measuring stick of, okay, we're here as a program. Now we can go further and we can achieve more. And it also, frankly, it shows value to the institution of, this is something that is drawing attention. It's something that people are proud of, and it's something that we can be proud of as a university, and it's not just isolated to the esports world. So I think it really sells the entire idea of esports to the community more broadly.
Yeah, I like the sound of that, and trying to get esports more known and involved. So kind of bouncing off that too, in that getting more involved, especially collegiate wise, what do you think that, groups like the MAEC are doing for the collegiate scene as a whole?
I think it's adding stability and a level of accountability. I think one of the things that I always saw early on in my investigation was that you'd see leagues and operations happen, but they were student-led, which is fine, and it's great when it's done well. But there were times when things would fall behind, or somebody'd graduate, and things can kind of crumble if there's that lead person that's really passionate that loses sight of it. But leagues that are formalized, that are committed to one, producing quality experiences for the players, producing quality content for people to watch and engage with is very important. And I think those connections really add validity to collegiate esports as something that's important, that's something we should pay attention to and something that we should value. And so that's the big thing that I get out of the MAECs, that they've come to it with a mindset that it's not just a student activity. It's something that we can really be a part of and build and make it better, and that can really go out into the entire ecosystem rather than just within the conference itself.
Yeah, I like the sound of that too. Just getting that stability is having something that isn't going to go away just because the person loses passion is very nice.
Yeah, and that year to year, people graduate, right? That's part of higher education, is that people come in, hopefully they're only here for 4 years, and then they move on, right? But having the stability of the conference, like you said, it just helps with that. The continuity of programs over time. It's something that you can count on, right? Like it's something, okay, we're going to be involved in this, and this, because these are the leagues that have set themselves up to be highly competitive, valuable to us institutionally, and valuable for collegiate esports.
What do you think, if anything, companies like Riot or other large game devs could do to help kind of bridge and help out the collegiate scene?
I think there's always, it depends. It really depends on the developer. I think some of them are directly engaged and very involved, and I think that's a good thing, right? It's their intellectual property, but they take care of it, and they make sure that it's done very well. And so I think the large developers that are really putting in the time and effort are, again, part of that solidification of the collegiate esports scene. However, there's always going to be some developers that are a little bit lagging behind, or maybe don't take it as seriously. And I think that's eventually going to hurt the scene. But for the most part, the more seriously they take it, and the better that they, the better type of experience and league or tournament or whatever it is that they're producing, it just adds value. It creates, again, that continuity of, building collegiate esports into something bigger than it is now and developing it over time. Nobody's expecting that the collegiate esports scene is going to be like, March Madness, right? Like nobody's expecting that to happen like immediately. But with supported game developers, with supported universities, the growth of esports is something that can most definitely happen. Will it ever get to that level? I don't know. But it only will if everybody is willing to put their best effort in and to push things along in that way.
Yeah, I'm hopeful. I'm, especially being involved in it lately, the past couple of years, I'm definitely very hopeful to see how other companies, like you said, try and involve themselves, take college more seriously, and really expand into that space. So I think I've got one last question for you, and it's a lot, away from what we've been talking about, and it's a lot more broad, but generally just what is your favorite thing about your program, and what's your favorite things about esports in general?
I think it might be the same thing. Actually, no, it's not the same thing. My favorite thing about the program is getting to see students that are interacting with each other in the same space. And I think part of that is coming out of the pandemic. We didn't have that, right? It was all remote for so long, but kind of getting to see people come out of their shell and be themselves in the arena and with their teammates, I think is something that is maybe an underappreciated component of what we do in the collegiate scene. That like we're taking people out of residence halls or apartments or whatever, and we're putting them face to face with each other and allowing them to get to know each other and to get to be on that human level in person doing their thing. And it forces a lot of things. It forces compromise. It forces teamwork. It forces communication. And all of those things are good. And all of those things are valuable that you can take with you. Additionally, what was the second part? My favorite thing about
esports
in general. I'm a competitive person. And I like to win, and so whether it's one of the teams that's playing, even if I don't know or if I'm not super knowledgeable about every aspect of the game, like I want them to win and I want to be competitive. It's ingrained in me for whatever reason, and so I like the competitive side of it. But I also recognize that not every team is going to win a championship all the time. So that's kind of getting back to that developmental component. Like that's why that's so valuable, right? Is you can't win every single match, but you can be better at communicating and teamwork and all those types of things. But yeah, the victories, we had a close one in Rocket League last night. Ended up scoring a goal with 1 second left to win one of the games of the match, and so that type of thing I get pretty jazzed about. So definitely the competition, but also seeing our players get to know each other and be more connected.
Yeah, I really definitely think you guys have built a very fun, very competitive team out here at ODU. So I'd like to thank you for coming on, Grant. Again, I am Kyle, and this is Grant Deppen, the Assistant Director of Intramural Sports and Esports at Old Dominion University. So thank you again for coming on and getting to chat and really break down what ODU Esports is.
Thanks very much, Kyle. I appreciate it.